Good afternoon, everybody. Shmaya Marvin Miller Jr. Listen, this is the first time that I'm doing this, and I'm so excited to do this. This is called Moments with Unsung Gospel Legends, and I'm so excited today. I'm going to be chatting it up with legendary gospel artist, songwriter, and pastor Calvin Bernard Rhone. Calvin Bernard Rhone is an artist that I grew up on. I'm a member of, well, former member of GMWA, and I grew up watching him, listening to him, and he's on. So we're about to chat it up for a second. Those of you who are not able to watch right now, you can catch the replay, but we're going to talk to this amazing man, Calvin Bernard Rome. Let's get him in here.
Greetings, greetings,
There he is.
greetings.
What's up, man? There we are. There we are. There we are. How you doing, Pastor Rome?
I'm good. I'm real good. How about yourself?
Man, I am fantastic. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for thinking of me.
Yes, sir. I think I'm getting some feedback from you. Okay, can you hear me?
You hear me? Okay, I'm gonna turn me down. How about that?
Fantastic, man. I'm so happy to have you on.
I tell you what, I'm gonna do this. Hold on.
What you gonna do,
I,
man?
I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it the way they normally tell us we need to do it. Everybody that's watching this now, just enjoy.
Well, before we get started, I just want to let people understand and let people know how amazing of an artist you are. I grew up listening to you sing. I grew up listening to you play. I grew up just on you. Your music has been a tremendous part of the soundtrack of my life. And I thank God for your ministry. I thank God for who you are. And I also thank God because I get a chance to just kind of tug on your nuggets every week. You know, I appreciate it. I feel like I'm totally privileged and I'm totally thankful for you for being a mentor to me. You're one of my mentors. And I thank God for you. And I just wanted the world to just kind of see who you are. A lot of us who are rooted in gospel music, we know who you are. We definitely know who you are. But there's a younger generation, and there's some people even in our generation who may not know who you are. So today, I want the world to know about Pastor Calvin Bernard Rome. So, how are we gonna get this thing started? First of all, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Is that better? Is the sound better now?
Fantastic on my end.
Okay, fantastic.
Fantastic on my end.
Put on these headphones.
So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do something fun here. I want to start off with something called rapid fire questions. So,
Okay.
whatever I ask you, this is gonna be the first thing that you think. So, you got to be quick with it. Is that all right?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, you're gonna be just fine. So, here we go. Describe yourself in one word.
Analytical.
Okay. Hidden talent.
Techie.
Really? Okay.
I love technology.
Finish this sentence. If I were not a pastor, musician, or artist, I would be.
An engineer.
Okay. Really?
Oh yeah, I love engineering. I love audio engineering. It
Okay.
still
I can
allows me
see
to be
that. I can
involved with
definitely see
music.
that.
So
I can definitely see that. Definitely. My current television obsession is
Perry Mason.
really
Yes, Perry Mason. It, it
what?
it connects me to my dad. That was one of my dad's favorite television programs, and I
Are we talking about Perry Mason black and white? Are we talking about
black
Perry Mason's in the 80s?
black and white. Perry Mason's Black
I
and
totally
White,
believe.
the original series.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite city is
Oh wow, my favorite city is Seattle, Washington.
why?
I love its scenery. I love the atmosphere. It's kind of, for me, a combination of The excitement of New York, the hustle and bustle,
Wow.
even the many different things to see is of Los Angeles. The weather is
Mm-hmm.
challenging, but again, the scenery. Um,
Mm,
I love the scenery, and it's close to the water downtown. There's an area where I like to go that's near the water, and so it would be Seattle.
fantastic. What about country? Because I know you've been to several
Oh
countries.
my God,
What's your favorite
France,
country?
France. I
Really?
love France, and I'm not talking about necessarily the tourist areas of France. I'm talking about like Gap, France, where I had a chance to visit and work with the choir. But the area, it's the country, the hills, the
Okay.
greenery, the water, that whole thing. I love it, and the way they live.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing to me. Okay, I'm gonna keep it going. Funniest moment on stage is,
One time I did a concert at the Salvation Army downtown Los Angeles on Ninth and Francisco, and my entrance was to run in, and I had on these boots, these platform boots with a leather outfit, kind of spacey looking, and I was to run in and go up to the stage, and when I did, I almost tripped on the first step.
are you serious?
Yes.
And so how did you recover from that? Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know how I recovered. You just do. You just do.
Okay,
You just do the best you can, and that's what
okay.
I did. I did the best I could. I stayed on my feet.
So uh-huh. So would we include that in your most embarrassing moment as well?
No, that wasn't my most embarrassing moment on stage.
What's your most embarrassing moment?
My most embarrassing moment was at the Tangerine Bowl before 23,000 people. I was the musician for Reverend James Cleveland, and we were performing there, and I must
Mhm.
have played a wrong chord or something, and he looked around at me and on the mic said, "What are you doing?" And that was
Oh my, I can hear you
that was the most embarrassing
now.
moment.
Bernard, Bernard, what are you doing? Wow. Okay. I got him down pat now. Bernard,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Bernard. I think I got his voice.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me
yeah.
ask you, let me keep it with this random, this is a good one.
Cool.
I could listen to blank sing all day.
Oh,
I know that was that's a tough one. I know.
all day? God, that's too many different people. One person I could listen to Gladys Knight sing all day.
Yeah.
Gladys Knight,
Yeah.
yeah, she is the person that I actually pattern my song styling, my styling after because without the incredible range of others, she has an immaculate ability to interpret a song. And
Hmm.
you feel, you
Hmm.
feel it. So I could listen to Gladys Knight all day.
Okay, it makes a whole lot of sense because I was actually going to say that you remind me of a male version of her. Because you are immaculate in your baritone and in your tenor. You don't go too far, you don't go too low, but you stay right there when you sing. When I hear Live in Me, Jesus, the way that you interpret that song is unbelievable.
Mm,
You get to that part, I may be the only Jesus that many others may see. When you get right there, it's like you in there. You're not giving us too much far left. You're not giving. You're amazing in that. So I can definitely see why she would be your favorite. I
okay.
can definitely see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're amazing in that area as well. My biggest career regret.
My biggest career regret. Well, do you want to just answer that quickly or honestly?
Either one. I'm just glad to have you
Uh,
on.
quickly, my biggest career regret is that I did not pursue the heights of the potential of the industry that I possibly could have.
Was that a fear, or was
No,
it? Were you distracted from something?
it was just a choice due to particularly being a pastor.
Okay.
So my pastoring um, received a lot of my attention, even to the degree that
Okay.
when I began pastoring, which was even before I traveled on the road with Reverend Cleveland, when I began
Hmm.
pastoring, I took 2 years away from music altogether, other than in the church ministry, and I did one concert a year in order to raise funds for the ministry. But um,
Mm.
I began to, not focus a lot of attention on the music industry. I continued music
Okay.
ministry, but I didn't focus on the music industry while I was pastoring, not as much as I could have, actually.
Okay. 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 It makes a lot of sense. And you're an amazing pastor. For people who don't know, you're the pastor of a Hope of Glory Church
Hope of Glory
in
Christian
Los
Center in
Angeles,
Los Angeles, right here in LA.
Christian Center in
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
yeah,
Man, we got to get back there. We have definitely got to get back
yeah.
there. Another question. If I could talk to my 25-year-old self, I would tell him what?
I would tell him dig in more and be truer to yourself.
Okay.
And that dig,
Best piece of advice.
yeah, best
Go ahead.
best piece of advice that I've ever received.
Hmm.
Oh God, best piece of advice that I've ever. Oh Lord, what's okay? Well, the person who influenced my life the most, my mother.
Mm.
She's the reason why I say that she's the reason why I'm so verbose, but at the same time, she's the reason
Okay.
why I'm an open-minded thinker because she encouraged
Wow.
me to be so. My mother encouraged me. My mother, having come from earlier baby boomer generation, um, she said to me, I remember her saying one day, and I hope this don't get her in trouble. She said to me one day, I didn't believe everything mother told me. She was talking about her mother, my maternal grandmother. I didn't believe everything she
Okay.
told me,
Mhm.
but I obeyed and lived according to the times. That was how we survived as a
Wow.
people. She said, but
Wow.
I want you to know that you have a right to think freely. You have a right to say whatever you believe to be true, but there's always a way to respect your elders as opposed to your peers. So
Yes, sir.
for me, that was the best advice because she gave me the, as it were, permission to
Yes, sir.
think and to speak.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you carry that to this very
Oh
day.
my God. Oh my, listen, listen. My mom is in let me see, my mom is in my left pocket, my dad is in my right pocket at all times.
Wow. Well, I tell you, I appreciate your parents because what your parents have put in you, we are able to receive from that. Those of us who know you, those of us who truly love you, those of us who have just received from you, we can just tell that your parents gave you some amazing nuggets and you share that with us. So we appreciate that. So that ends my rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I want to jump into Calvin Bernard. You were known, if I'm not mistaken, as a child prodigy. You've been doing this all of your life. Talk to me about your childhood and where music came in, first solo, how you fell in love with music, all those things.
Interesting. My dad was a singer and a songwriter.
Hmm.
He was a quartet
Okay.
singer. Many of the songs that
All
he
right.
wrote did not get, published, didn't get out. He was not involved in the industry like that.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
but in that he was a singer, he and my mother had three sons, three boys, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just the law of the house. On certain Friday
Just,
evenings, we gathered
mm-hmm.
in our den, what people would call a family room today. We gathered in our den, and he made us sing.
Okay.
You had to sing in this
Wow.
house. So we sang. Eventually, I sang, my brother above me sang, and then my older brother, he played bass. Um,
Wow. Okay.
when I was 4 years old, every other year my family would visit the South. We would go to Arkansas, we would go to Louisiana, we would go to Texas to visit my parents' people. And so
Mm-hmm.
we were visiting my eldest aunt, my paternal eldest aunt, my father's oldest sister,
Mm-hmm.
Estelle Scott. We used to just call her
Okay.
Big Sister. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she took me to church one Sunday evening.
Okay.
She made me go with her.
Mm-hmm.
And at 4 years
Mm-hmm.
old, she stood me on a crate box in the church and told me to sing. And I better open my mouth and sing. And I sang,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jesus Loved Me, right then and there. And
Wow.
that began my initial public embrace. It
Okay.
wasn't about the public embracing me. I embraced the public.
It's the
And
public.
I started
Okay.
doing that at 4. So I just started singing at 4 before the public. Now I tasted that, and as I said, I embraced it. I wanted to. I wasn't afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was more afraid
Mm-hmm.
of singing to one individual, but I enjoyed singing
Mm-hmm.
to a crowd of people. So I came back
Wow.
home. The thing kept going. We kept singing. My mother's baby sister, who also played the piano, would always gather
Mm-hmm.
the cousins together and teach us songs.
Okay.
And the very first song I recall learning was, He's the joy of my salvation. Yes, He is. He's the joy of my salvation.
It's
So
mm-hmm.
we sang that. I kept singing. I kept singing. At 6, I started playing the piano, and then at 8, of course, I had to go to church. We didn't have no choice. That's the generation I
Sure.
grew up in.
No choice. Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
between my mother and my father, I had to work on every possible department in the church. I had to be an usher. I had to be working the choir. I had to do
I'm a witness.
Easter speeches. I had to do this. I had to do that. Only thing I didn't have to do was be a deacon or preach.
Oh
I
wow.
didn't have to do that. Uh,
Okay.
so I never was a deacon, but I did everything in the church. And then in the choir,
Wow.
that was my space. So at 8 years
Mm-hmm.
old, our present minister of music at Travelers Rest Missionary Baptist Church in Los Angeles asked me to come and sing, lead a song. I've got a long ways to go to be like the Lord. Lead that song with his community choir, the Terry Lynn Community Choir at the Embassy Auditorium downtown. And he paid me
Okay.
at 8 years old. He paid me. That was my first
Wow.
time. First time. So
Amazing.
that started a spiral. From that
Wow.
moment on, they start hearing me. They were talking about me. I was the young boy of Los Angeles, who was singing, and I was invited to churches at 11 o'clock. They paid me. I was invited to auditoriums. I was invited to events. I would sing, and they paid me. I keep emphasizing that.
Wow.
And at such an early age, my father, who was my protector, my guardian, my guide, my
Yes, sir.
mentor, he became my first manager. And he
Wow.
managed me even when I started preaching at 15. He managed me until I was 18 years old. Um,
Amazing.
and that's how I started. That's
Okay.
where the love for it comes from. My dad, like I said, my
Mm-hmm.
mother gave me my most important inspiration and information advice as a person. My dad gave
Mm-hmm.
me my business sense for music.
Sure. Sure.
He taught me tricks of the trade. He taught me
Okay.
what preachers and deacons and folk will do to try to keep things from me and to keep me
Sure.
down. And so, again, he was my dad. He was my protector. He was my guardian. And
Wow.
so that taught me, that was my foundation for learning the business of music and learning the business.
So you had the ultimate protection. You had the
Oh,
ultimate protection.
listen,
You had that.
listen.
Absolutely.
My testimony is as a black man, African
Yes, sir.
American in the United States, I was blessed to grow up in a home with
Yes, sir.
both a father and a mother who loved me, who made sure I knew Jesus Christ, who made sure I was
Mm-hmm.
in church, who made
Mm-hmm.
sure that I sang gospel because my daddy was not allowing me to live in his house and sing secular music. I couldn't do it. No, oh no,
Okay. Okay.
I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to sing about my.
Could you listen to it?
Let me say it like this. He didn't put those restrictions on me, even though he did not
Yeah. Same in
prefer.
my house.
But
Mm-hmm.
my dad, I found out something about my dad. My dad's favorite singer was Nat King Cole.
Okay.
And when he died, he stopped listening to secular music.
Okay.
And so
Got
I
you.
don't think that that was necessarily by a conviction choice. It was more or less by a
Hmm.
conditional situation. So
Hmm.
he didn't really restrict us. Besides, in junior
Hmm.
high school, I played with the orchestra, a full-fledged orchestra. I was a
Hmm.
part of the stage band. So, we did the top 40 secular tunes. We didn't do no gospel.
Right.
My
Right.
my first hit was Neither One of Us by Gladys Knight and the Pips. My second hit was a cover of Love Don't Love Nobody by Felipe Wynne and the Spinners.
What?
And that
It
was
takes a fool, though.
that was in junior high school. I was a fool, okay?
Uh, I dare you sing a line of it. It takes a
No,
fool.
no,
I
no,
dare
no, no.
you.
I like this part. Sometimes a girl will come and go. Lord, I keep forgetting the words.
Something.
And but you
Something
know what? Let me tell you this.
about Little Boy Blue or something in there,
This is
right?
way, yeah, that's down there. That's in there. That's way off the subject.
Right.
Number one, I
Mm.
I sang a little bit of that in a church like about 2 or 3 years ago. We were honoring.
What?
Listen, we were honoring a pastor who knew me
Okay.
from my junior high school days, or a female pastor
Oh,
who knew
wow.
me from my
Okay.
junior high school days. So when I got up to make remarks to talk about how wonderful she was, I just stopped and said, "Oh, you know what? You remember me from junior high school. What's your favorite song?" And she said, "Love Don't Love Nobody." I sang a little bit of it, and Marvin, the congregation went crazy. And it's like
I'm sure they
they
did.
act more animated than when the gospel songs were being sung. That's a whole nother discussion. Anyway,
It's a whole nother discussion.
so
But I probably acted animated because of how you sang it. Because listen, you don't know how to just sing a song. You take a song, it does not matter what song it is. This is what I've known because I've been listening to you sing since GMWA days when I was like 4 and 5. Don't know how to act right behind a song. It's your purpose to kill everything that is living, breathing, and dead.
Eh,
See, that's what you do.
but you know what, Marvin? I want to be truthful. I don't want to be controversial, but
Uh-huh.
that was never to kill the audience. That was never my motivation, even though sometimes I
Sure.
think it should have been because, anyway, that's another discussion. But
That's another discussion too.
I, particularly the songs that I sing, and most of them I write,
Hmm.
I really mean them.
Absolutely.
When I choose to sing a song, I love the message. I love the song. I love the melodic expression. I love the harmonies. I love all of that. So I sing it with my whole being, if you will.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it comes forth. I didn't learn until later about killing an audience.
Right. Right, right, right.
um,
But the thing about it is you can't possibly sing lyrics that says, live in me, Jesus, have your way in me, without having really lived with those type of lyrics.
oh, listen,
That has comes from a studied life.
that was my earnest prayer. And it still is.
Absolutely.
That's my earnest prayer. All of my life, my greatest revelations in life overall, I look back over my life and I looked at the time when I wrote that song, um, Live in Me, Jesus. And before then and ever since then, the primary revelation of my life, this is the revelation that my ministry is built on, that my pastoral ministry is built on. Colossians 1:27, the mystery that had been hidden from ages to ages, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. It's my personal
Hope of
conviction
glory.
that one of the greatest things that believers need to embrace is their spiritual identity. And that spiritual
Sure.
identity is Christ. So when I sing it, I'm singing
Hmm.
something that I believe with every fiber of my being. And that's
Wow.
no, for me, it's not a plaything. It's for real. It's not. I'm not trying to impress. Even though I will tell you this, and I teach this when I do workshops in gospel music and clinics and work with vocalists. I tell them you need to
Hmm.
come with your A game. You do
Sure.
need to come with your A game. But the purpose for me is not
Sure.
to kill the audience. The purpose is to arrest their attention because you cannot
Absolutely.
adequately communicate with people until you get their attention. So you
Absolutely.
need to sing
Wow.
well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
you need to sing well. Sing on pitch, sing on key, and
Sure.
sing the melody of the
Sure.
song and deliver that message.
Sure. And you can't deliver the message without really studying, having a study life, a prayer life. You can't really deliver.
I I
Am I correct in
I
this?
wonder about that. I mean, you know me. That's I think that's
I do know
I
you.
think
That's why I'm
yeah,
picking your
I
brain.
think that's a wonderful spiritual platitude, but it's not always the case. That's why we have
Okay.
preachers and singers who wow audiences and who deliver and may even be and are many times anointed, but they're
Hmm.
not living it, and so they stumble.
So they just kind of have it.
Yeah, I mean, my conviction is that is this. This whole thing is about God. Don't make no difference who we are. This thing is about God.
Okay.
And if you flow in that arena, you're going to get a God manifestation. Most people think that you can't get a God manifestation without being clean, right, holy. I don't believe that anymore because
Hmm.
I've observed too many people who are
Hmm.
entering into a God space. Here's what I tell people, keep this short. You can be a wild donkey and
Hmm.
manifest the glory of God, but after the
Hmm.
manifestation, you still a wild donkey.
Okay.
And
Well, there you have
you
it.
will experience a wild donkey's end unless you're transformed. So I think that what we really need to start doing is seeing that there's a difference in being personally sanctified and then
Hmm.
being personally anointed and gifted to do things. Because let's
Hmm.
understand something. When I sing, when I preach, the goal is not for people to to applaud me. The real purpose
Correct.
is for them to turn to God. And
Correct.
so I think when we get that better in our thinking and in our understanding, it's not about me getting the accolades. It's about
Hmm.
God getting glory and the individual turning their heart to God. And too often
That's actually the theme of Men of God's Heart.
awesome.
That's what we do to bring the hearts of men back to God. That
Yes.
is our main soul and our main purpose.
Yes.
And that's something that I think a lot of young people, they call them the millennials.
Hmm.
And I kind of hate that name because people kind of use that in a derogatory kind of way. But the millennials and the generation, my generation, any generation needs to understand that that is exactly the purpose, especially if you're going to sing gospel
Oh
music.
yeah. Yeah.
um, Trying to get a message across. Your main purpose, number one, is to please God and to bring the hearts of men and women back to God.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what you do. And you do it so well.
Thank you.
And you've been
Bless
doing
you.
it for so long. I want to, yes, a long time. I'm going to mention a name and I want you to tell me about this person, the King of Gospel, Reverend James Cleveland. Because everyone knows you, everyone that I talk to associates you with him first. Talk to me about your relationship with him and talk to me about what you did with him. Of course, I know what you did, but some may not know.
Uh, n- uh, in the late 70s, while in high school, I organized a group that eventually became the Los Angeles Gospel Ensemble. Um, we were singing around the city. Reverend Cleveland
Hmm.
heard about us. He reached out to us and asked us to open up at his church, Cornerstone Institutional Baptist Church, for the late Isaac Douglas. And
Okay,
we
yeah,
went,
I remember.
and that was the first encounter that he had with me and my group in a live performance.
All right,
Um, Evidently, that was impressive. Um,
okay.
Come all the way up to 1982, I received a call from him
Hmm.
requesting that I'd be a writer for the Los Angeles Gospel Messengers, a new group that he was forming.
Man,
And
man.
and
Audience, do y'all hear this history?
yeah, and I agreed. Um, when I went to the first rehearsal, he said to myself, along with other writers, young writers that he had invited to write and bring new material, he said, now you
Mhm.
all can just teach the material and go, or you can stay and be a part of this
Mhm.
aggregation. I decided to stay and be a part of it. And so I stayed
Yes,
on as a continual songwriter, as a lead singer, as a musician. Later
mm,
on, within that scope, maybe of about 2 years, by 83, late 83, early 84, Reverend's then musician left him. He just
okay,
left. And so, Reverend, I got another
okay.
call, and he said, Bernard, I need you to go on the road with me. Would you be willing to do it? And
Doc, that voice is about to take me down.
and
Now,
so
I'll
I prayed about it.
that list.
I had some reservations, but I prayed about it, and the Spirit of the Lord said some specific things to me and gave me permission to go. So I agreed, and so I became his musician for the Cleveland Singers, and I became his musician, meaning
Mm-hmm.
meaning that whenever he, as James Cleveland, the king of gospel music, whenever
Mm-hmm.
he went to MC a program, as in, people invited him to come in and MC, people invited come in and do a workshop, whatever. I always went with him, and
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if it was communicated or if I just knew. Whenever he approached the mic, I had to be on the
Yeah.
piano because if
Wow.
he ever wanted to break off into a song, I had to be there at the drop of a dime.
You knew where he
I
was.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, we had rehearsals, we went over songs, all the things to be prepared. But he was an incredible individual. I really respected him as the king of gospel music, and I respected what God had called him to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was therefore a loyal employee of his. And
Wow.
that was
Wow.
that was the relationship. He was a funny individual. He was a prankster. Um, the
Mm-hmm.
man had a musical photogenic memory. If he heard a
Mm-hmm.
song once, he remembered it. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I
Wow.
remember one time we were on the Cleveland Singers. We were in Buffalo, New York, or was it
Okay.
Rochester? Somewhere in New York. He heard a song while we were on the road. Loved the song.
Okay.
He came back to Los Angeles, and the next Sunday he sang that song at his church. And interestingly, I was
Wow.
not there because I was not a member of his church, but he sung it.
Okay.
That's the way he was. He would take a song that a choir sang and sing it as a solo. And he just had,
Classic.
whatever people want to say, he just had a gift and an
Wow.
ability to communicate those songs to people in such a way that they were just moved, period.
See, I wonder if everybody who's watching. First of all, let's before we keep talking. I got to say hi to Ruben Miner, my friend Ruben Miner. He said he is a lover of the L.A. Messengers.
Awesome, awesome.
So I see everybody in here. My brother's Menegas Sarter's on here. Eric
Yeah,
Clark, he's
yeah,
he is like crazy about you. Clearly, he's crazy about you. And I just want to say hey to everybody. Thank y'all for watching. Um, what you did under Reverend Cleveland, uh, can we consider that paying dues and servanthood?
absolutely.
Can you talk to some folk about paying dues? Because I think a lot of people feel like they should just have their success right then without really having to serve under somebody.
Well, yeah, without saying, usually all major successes are the result of minor successes.
Listen, y'all. Listen,
Also,
this is good.
also minor failures. You never learn how to respect and appreciate success until you've learned from failures.
Wow.
Minor
Wow.
successes from the perspective of being a servant enables you to be a quality leader in success once it is achieved. Also,
This is good.
it goes without saying, you will always improve what you're doing the more you're doing it. And
Oh
so
my
your
God.
minor success is a time of learning, sharpening your skills, honing your craft as you, I mean,
Yes.
the things that I learned from Reverend Cleveland. And then by being a part of Reverend Cleveland's enterprise, is what I call it, I met Tom,
Oh, it was an enterprise.
I
It was
met,
definitely an enterprise.
yeah, I met Thomas Dorsey personally. I met
Hmm.
Sally Martin personally. I met Albertina Walker
Hmm.
and the Caravans personally. I met the Barrett sisters personally, the O'Neill
Hmm.
twins, the Craig
Hmm.
brothers. I met so many folk from Chicago, Detroit, all over the country. And
Hmm.
I was able to glean from them person to person. I met Raymond
Hmm.
Raspberry, who used to live right here in the city, who
Yeah. Yeah.
when he discovered that I was a writer, he literally took me to lunch and spoke into my life about songwriting. DJ Rogers.
Do you hear the name? Wait. Do you hear the names that you're just throwing out there?
Yeah, I
I
hear.
mean, Raymond Raspberry. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yes,
we're talking about the golden age of gospel music, and you were able to sit under that
absolutely.
and clearly what they have put into you and what they poured into you.
Listen,
It's all over you. It's all on you. And
Marvin.
let me say, my friend Brian Costin is saying hello to you. He's
Hello.
a wonderful musician here. He sends his respect and love to you.
Awesome.
You are really just throwing out names like they're just Sally Sue and just Joe or something. Come
Well,
on, man.
listen, I go so far back. Do you know the name R.H. Harris?
Absolutely.
You're a quartet singer, so you better know R.H. Harris. Well, R.H. Harris used.
I'm not Quartet. Okay.
I'm just saying,
Y'all killing me.
you're a part
I
of.
love Quartet though.
Right,
I'm not,
right, right, right.
come on, I'm a choir boy. Y'all know that.
I sat on R.H. Harris's lap as a baby because I told you
That's crazy.
my dad was a quartet singer, and so every other year while we're traveling back to the South to visit our family, we're also attending the National Quartet Convention of America. That's not the one that
Wow.
exists today, but the one then. And during the time,
Back then, okay.
R.H. Harris was the national president. And a lot of people don't
Wow,
know that
man.
R.H. Harris was a fabulous songwriter and that he was the primary lead singer of the Soul Stirrers. And when he left, that's when Sam Cooke came in
I'm Cook
and
came in,
took
right?
his place
Okay.
and became the lead singer. And so
Hmm.
R.H. Harris was as smooth a singer as Sam Cooke. But he
Wow.
had another vision, so he left and pursued what he did. And he was a great a writer as Thomas Dorsey, but he did not have the type of machine and impetus behind him that Thomas
Sure.
Dorsey had.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
all those people, Joe Matthew, who was also part of the Soul Stirrers. I grew up I grew up on his lap too.
Wow.
He became a member of my
Wow.
home church. Ray Charles used to visit out my
Wow.
home church. Um, 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 well, some people may
You're
not
just
know.
gonna say Ray
Can you?
Charles like that?
Yeah.
Like it's just nothing.
You know what's
Okay.
interesting is this. I understand. I understand the impact of these people. And when I tell you, I respect them for what they brought to the table, for who they were, who they are, and so forth. But at the same time, my parents taught me balance. We're all,
Okay.
we're
Sure.
all just individuals created in the image and likeness of God, here to fulfill a calling. And the
Sure.
greatness comes from fulfilling the calling. The
Wow.
greatness,
Amazing.
I would tell people, be cautious of trying to be great because of what you do. In terms of I can sing, so I want to be a great singer. That'll kill you. It has killed many people.
Whoa.
Ambition.
Whoa.
Ambition has killed so many folk. It has caused so many folk to go astray. Don't get caught up in your
Gosh.
ambition and your ability. Get caught up in the call in response to God because that keeps you on the right path. That
Wow.
does
This
not,
is
it
good.
doesn't deny you greatness, great
Hmm.
opportunities, position,
Hmm.
prestige, power, money, all of that. But all of those things fall into their proper place when you understand, hey, my foundation is my call to God.
Are y'all getting these nuggets that this man is saying? This is, I'm trying to move quickly past these things, but I get so stuck because he just gives the knowledge that is just so needed for this time. We cannot just get stuck on our talent alone.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody can sing, especially here in my city. Everybody can sing.
Rev-
But I come from a city in that Columbus, y'all know this is true. Everybody can sing,
mm,
literally.
yeah.
I mean, we got everybody from Terrence Dewey to Skylar Johnson to Menegod Park to Camille Beck. All of y'all, everybody can sing, but we cannot ever just get stuck on gifting alone. This is really good. I appreciate you saying.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
got to keep moving
Go
because
ahead.
we can stay,
Go
we can,
ahead.
get, we can stay stuck right there. I want to talk to you about two songs.
Okay.
We already talked about Live and Meet Jesus. Of course, that's what you are known for, Live and
Okay.
Meet Jesus. But you wrote, you've written for literally everybody. Albertina Walker. A lot of people don't know that he wrote the Donald Lawrence and Tri City hit. God is the strength of my heart and my portion
Yes.
forever. If y'all know that song,
Thank God.
this man right here wrote
Thank
that
God
song.
for Donald Lawrence.
Amazing. Thank God for Donald Lawrence, right?
That was a good check.
But you wrote a massive, what you
That
say?
was a good.
Which
That was a good check. That was a good check.
is a good check.
Donald Lawrence.
Come on,
Donald
publishing.
Lawrence is a businessman. Believe me, he's a
Yeah,
businessman. I respect him
yeah.
highly. He's a businessman.
That's a hot
Good
tone.
friend. I mean, good friend of mine. I love him dearly. We before anybody knew either of us, we befriended each
Okay,
other. And I remember walking the streets of New York when GMWA
that's
was in
great.
New York, and we were just talking about the different things we wanted to do. And he's gone on to do what he did, and I did what I did. It was so, but that was a
Really
blessing.
good.
That was a blessing. It was not only a ministry opportunity, it was a money making opportunity. Come on, somebody.
Wow. And that money, and it came on through because that was a great moment on that Tri City record. That was a wonderful,
Praise
wonderful
God.
song. Minute got started saying hello to you, man.
Hey, men of God's heart, love you guys greatly. Y'all are awesome. Awesome.
John and Oscar and even Oscar's brother Shaman is on here. What's up, Shaman?
Awesome.
We appreciate you. We had such a great time when we came to LA. Thank you for having
Oh,
us.
absolutely.
We
Enjoyed
appreciate
you
you.
all.
We had a blast. But I want to talk to you about this classic song that you wrote for Daryl Coley.
Okay.
I can't tell it all.
Can't tell it all.
Lately, I've been thinking about God. That there, man,
And that
we talk about a classic tune.
and that's not my favorite
Where,
song that I
where
wrote for
that
Daryl
night,
Coley.
you said what?
And that's not my favorite song that I wrote for Daryl Coley. But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
that's the song
Yeah.
that I think a lot of people associate him. Of course, they associate him with "He's Preparing Me."
Mm-hmm. And comes
Second
and come
Chronicles, of course,
Sunday,
comes. Yes, when Sunday
the
comes.
man was a
But a
voice.
lot of us
Gosh.
know him from that classic. He's done so much for me, and I just can't tell it all. Take me back to that night
Uh
when he recorded that.
honestly, let me tell you about that experience. Let me tell you about that experience. It's amazing because I was just checking the stats on that. That was released. The stats say it was released in 1990. Tremaine's
Yeah,
song, I don't know if you're going to talk about that, but Tremaine's song was released
I'm going to
in
talk about that next. Yeah.
1994. But we recorded
Hmm.
Tremaine's song first. And if you listen back
Okay,
to
that was '92.
the video clip, it's actually 94. The stats said 94. I got to go back and check and make sure. But he was released after. But here's what happened. Um,
Hmm.
Daryl Coley had been asking me to write for him ever since his first recording on Plumline Records, Chronicles, If My
Okay.
People, Who Called by My Name. Um, I just never got anything. That's kind of the way sometimes I write when it's as far as giving other people material. And I didn't think I had
Hmm.
anything in my arsenal that was worthy of him.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
that's just the way it went. So he went on and
Hmm.
went on. And then um, I got the opportunity to work with Tremaine Hawkins through in Sparrow
Okay.
Records, and
Hmm.
we did an album before the one that she did, and then yes,
Yo, Nisa Shanae is on
I
here.
saw her. That's my girl.
I'm your father. For you, I do all I can. I love her. Go
Did you
ahead.
hear the song that I wrote for her?
On that same record?
Uh, no, I think it was prior to that. It was her first independent solo project.
Okay, we got to talk about
Yeah,
that. We'll
okay.
talk about that later.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
so
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
so when Sparrow Records signed Daryl Coley, Daryl Coley had always
Hmm.
been asking me to write for him. He kept asking me to write for him. But when he
Okay.
signed with Sparrow, the owner of the label, old man Billy Ray Hearns, called me personally because I had written this song
Hmm.
for Tremaine. And then
Okay.
the president of the company asked me, "Do you have another song like the one you wrote for Tremaine? Because we've just
Hmm.
signed Daryl and we would like you to, pin him a song like the one you penned
Right.
for Tremaine."
Right.
And so I
Okay.
I literally went to my church and put on my drum machine to the same drum beat of the song that I wrote for Tremaine, and then I just sat there and I said, "Okay, Lord, give me something for Daryl, give me something," and gradually these ideas, musical ideas, start coming, and then I probably completed it in about 3 hours. I complete,
Are you
yeah,
serious?
yeah, I completed in about 3 hours, and I had to immediately take it to Daryl Coley, who was at the studio in the Valley area of LA, and took it, and he performed it, he sang it that night. That night, something happened so amazing. If you watch one clip on YouTube, it was like he couldn't let the song go.
Yeah, that was the actual night of the
Yeah,
recording.
there was just a manifestation that was like whatever.
Yeah, my friend Ruben said he was there.
Yeah, and Bishop Kenneth Olmer, popular bishop here in the city, he was there, and
Hmm.
he was sitting down away from me, and I was sitting with Tremaine. Tremaine was actually present there at the time, and
Hmm. Hmm.
Bishop Olmer looked at me and said, mouthed the words, "You got another one," and I understood he was saying, "You got another hit," and I'll leave that there. And but when he said that, something came over me, and the rest of that night I was driving Tremaine because we were still working together. I was driving Tremaine, and I took her back to her lodging at the hotel, and I went on home, and for the rest of the night I was like in a space in the presence of God. And that
Really? Wow.
experience, so that recording of Daryl Coley, that experience transformed my whole life, and here's why. Because
Okay.
up until that time, from the time I was
Hmm.
6 when I started writing, I was just
Yes.
writing. All the time that I traveled with Reverend Cleveland, all the time that I had worked with others, even Tremaine and so forth, I was writing because I could. I
Wow.
knew that I was to glorify God, but I was just I
Yes.
enjoyed writing. I would literally attempt to write, and many times I would write 5 songs a day. I was just
Yes,
writing.
sir.
I was just writing,
Yes, sir.
honing my craft,
Hmm.
writing. I loved it. I enjoyed it. But that night when I went home after Daryl's recording, and I remember kneeling on the side of my bed, and the Spirit of the Lord said to me, "From here on out, you are to understand that your writing is a ministry,
Mm.
and your goal in writing is to teach people my truth and to bring them to me." That became
Wow.
a revelation knowledge. That became revelation knowledge to me. So,
Songwriters, I hope y'all listening to this. My God.
I will still say this. I've been saying that I'm going to do something about songwriting and tell my story because it's amazing to me. Sometimes when I go back and think about it, it's amazing to me. But that moment was so transforming.
Wow.
I will not say that I stopped writing the way I always wrote, but I will say this. I had a whole new purpose. I had a
Wow.
whole new direction. And my desire
Wow.
became to write songs that were theologically sound and accurate, that would educate God's people as well as influence unsaved people to want to know Him.
Absolutely. Hmm. I'll be your legs to walk. I'll be your mouth to talk.
hmm and again,
Tell the world to heal and show them.
yeah, when I wrote that, because I wrote that long before I recorded it. Um,
Hmm.
that was a song that I wrote when I was doing concerts annually for my congregation. And like I said,
My
I was
God.
just writing. I was just writing. But I'm going to say this. After I wrote it,
Yes, sir.
the song became more to me than when I wrote it. That's why I always tell people I have a whole lot of problems. And my problems is just with communication. I always tell people I don't try to be deep. I'm just me. And I'm also try to be honest. So many times we think that songwriters
That
gotta
you
go
are.
through this hardship and trial. I said, no, no, no. When God gives you a gift, you got the gift.
Come on.
What you go through is for your life.
Come
You
on,
don't
sir.
go through a
You
trial.
blessing somebody
You
today.
don't go through
You blessing
a
somebody
trial
today.
and test so that you can have a hit. You don't go through no trial and
Wow.
test so you can wow people with an anointing. That is
Come on, sir.
fleshly. We
Sir.
go through trials and tribulations so that we can be closer to God in our character, in our conduct, in our conversation, and in our behavior. That's why we go through the trials and tests we go through. That makes us better people. And it just so happens that when the vessel is purer, that which
Wow.
comes through the vessel is purer. So I
Gosh.
pray that creatives stop thinking. Watch this. Creatives stop thinking that you're here because of your creativity. You are here because of God, and the way God flows through you is through your creativity. Don't put the
Jesus, my God.
creativity above. Stop asking God to bless your creativity. Ask God to bless you. And when you are blessed, what you create is already blessed. Come on, somebody. Glory. I'm
Oh, I hope
sorry.
y'all are writing this stuff down.
I'm
I'm getting so
sorry.
much
I'm
nuggets.
sorry. I'm
No, see, now, this is the kind of stuff that I know people are going to watch this over and over again because I'm not going to tell you talk about my accent because this is good, man. This is good because I think a lot of us have our purpose and our calling a little twisted. So ask the Lord to bless us first,
wait a minute. No, 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 no.
then our
No,
creative.
that's all. Don't ever ask God to bless your creativity. Watch this. If you are
That's
creative,
all.
He's already blessed you with it.
Yes, sir. Okay, I got you.
The Bible says your gift will make room for you. You don't have to ask God to make room for your gift when He gave it to you and also said to you, that's what's going to make room for you. You ain't got to ask God to open doors. Use your gift the way God wants you to do, and it'll open the doors.
And He'll open it.
Listen to me what I'm about to tell you.
That's so
This
good.
is why secular folk are many times making greater advancements than so called saved folk. We
Whew.
should be the most creative people on the face of the earth because the Creator is our Father. But through
Oh my
our
God.
religious foolishness, we stifle creation. We stifle creativity, which means we stifle God in us and through us. Listen, God is the creator and he made us to be creative. If you use your gift the way God told you to, here's why I talk like this, Marvin. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Here's
Go
why I
ahead.
talk like this. I watch
Hmm.
too many people who are so gifted by God live lives of frustration, live lives of heartache and pain, live life of struggle and sorrow. And I tell them it's because you have the wrong mindset. You have the wrong understanding. Life is not meant
Mm,
by God to be difficult. Here's what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 11.
yes.
Come unto me, all you that are heavy burdened and heavy laden. And here's what I'm going to do for you.
Yes.
I want you to come learn of me, and I'm going to give you, watch this, rest for your soul. Soul, suke,
Mm,
psyche. I'm going to give you rest for your mind. I'm going to give you rest for your emotions.
yes.
I'm going to give you rest for your will. Why? Because my yoke, thank you, Jesus, my yoke is
It's easy.
easy. My burden is
Burden.
light. So
Light.
whenever we are struggling with the weight of our giftedness, is because we are not following Him.
On, sir.
When you
Wow.
follow, listen to me. One more year, I'll be 60. And
Yes, sir. You sure
when
will.
I tell you I'm not tired, I really mean it. When I tell you I'm more excited today about the way that I will have to, in the words of corporate America, reinvent myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm excited because I'm excited to see how the creativity of God is going to flow through me next. I still got songs in me.
And we were to, in March, we were to celebrate your 50th year in music ministry.
Yeah, we
I wanted to
were.
acknowledge that. I wanted to acknowledge that as well. That you have been in music ministry for 50
And
years.
actually, that was a year
That's
ago.
paying
That was a
dues.
year ago. It was
That's amazing.
2019, but I couldn't do it. So we scheduled it for
That's
20.
amazing. And I wanted to acknowledge you on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
I want to, well, let me just say this because I know we're running into a whole hour. It was only supposed to be a half hour, but you're giving me so much, and I kind of knew we was going to go over.
Hmm.
And I'm just grateful for the time. Again, I'm grateful that everyone else is getting a chance to um, get what I get every week from you. I'm thankful. Again, I'm thankful for everything that you teach me.
Praise God.
You guys may not know that he wrote the song "Praise the Name of Jesus" for Tremaine Hawkins. Oh Lord, we lift you up.
Mm.
He wrote "God's Grace is Sufficient" for me, for Albertino
Oh my
Walker.
God.
New Jerusalem. When the battle is over, we shall wear a crown. Everybody sang that back in the day. When the battle is over, we shall wear a crown.
Yeah.
You are indeed a legend, period. You are, I call you unsung because a lot of people use that and kind of take that the wrong way. You're unsung because I know that there's a generation who may not know who you are.
Hmm.
But for those of us who truly, but those generations who may not know who you are have been singing your music.
And you know what? I give God praise because this generation is actually bringing some of my music back.
They
Um,
are, man.
I start hearing a lot of people, and a lot of churches were doing it. I've heard a lot of people doing, I really love you. Lord, I love you. Yes, I love
Yes,
you.
that's the one.
How I love you. I really love you.
Really
And
love you.
then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
another group in Virginia recovered, they recorded, uh, Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a
Yes.
joyful noise.
Let's get to
Another
the rock of our
choir,
salvation.
yeah, another choir recorded. Walt Whitman did it years ago.
Man, you wrote some
Alvin
hits,
Slaughter
man.
did it. Um, what's interesting, and I wanted to say this in this interview, particularly from the perspective of a songwriter.
Yes, sir.
The only prayer that I've ever prayed about my songwriting to God was, Lord, let me write songs that congregations will sing around the world. That's the only prayer that I asked concerning songwriting. And I can say he's done that. If
Wow.
there's anything now that I have an ambition for, if you will, as a songwriter,
Yes.
is for about one
Hmm.
or two of my songs to be submitted in a hymnal. I
Wow.
would love
Well, you have the songs to do
I
it.
would love to have that experience. I don't even ask for no Grammy.
You
I
have
don't
the
even.
songs.
Yeah, I believe so.
But you know what? My thing is, you deserve one. You definitely deserve a Grammy Legends Award, a Stella. But you have been honored, and I know that there's been some honors for you in the
I
past, and
was
you deserve
nominated.
every
I
last one.
forget the year. I was nominated for a Stellar. Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
nominated.
remember. I think it was '94.
And Daryl Coley and
I'll tell
I,
you your history. It was '94.
90. Okay, Daryl Coley and I received a Dove Award for the other song that I
Mm-hmm.
wrote for him.
Devil Award Oscar.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that was amazing. And what we did, we actually shared the Dove Award. He would keep it sometime, then he'd give it to
Man,
me to keep, then I'd give it back to him to keep.
that's
And I don't
awesome.
know where
That's
it is
awesome.
now. I think the last time when I reached my 45th birthday, for my birthday, I did a major concert in the city, and my whole goal was to honor all the mentors in my life who had spoken into my life. It was a birthday for me to give away and not to receive so much. And that was the
Wow.
last time I remember seeing the dove because I gave it back to Daryl for him to keep. It was
Okay.
a song,
Okay.
very jazzy song called Real. It's
Hmm.
technically an adaptation, but it was enough adaptation so I could get writing credits for it.
I remember. I remember. I
And
remember it.
now
And that's who you are too.
that was my favorite Daryl Coley song because
Really?
for me, Daryl Coley could sing jazz all day for me.
Period.
He could sing
Period.
jazz all. I love everything he did. I even told him one time we were at my church and we were leaving out, and I said, Daryl, let me tell you something. I love and respect your ministry because he pastored for a while, and we
Right. You sure did.
fellowshipped with him many times in some of his services. I told him, I said, you gonna do what God called you to do, I know, but you can sing jazz for me any day. Just take any jazz song
Period.
and say, as a matter of fact, just sing
Period.
anything. If you sing Old House, what was it? What Lord Jesus, where did my mind go? Um, to trust in
It's
Jesus.
still here. I got you.
To trust in Jesus. Da, da, da. I said, if you sing that,
It's so
just
sweet.
jazz it up for me. Just jazz up, just
Yeah.
because he did that so naturally. And I'm like,
Wow.
Lord, my brother, sure enough, was a voice. Tremaine Hawkins is a unique voice. There will never
Period.
be another
Never
Tremaine
duplicated.
Hawkins. And of course,
Never.
we could go down the line, but those people that I worked with, working with Albertina Walker was an amazing experience. Um, I didn't even fully hear the finished product on Your Grace because as a songwriter, what I would do, this is why I want to do something for songwriters. I
Come on.
I gave them the song and I walked away. Two things about me that's unique when it comes to songwriting. Number one, first and
Okay.
foremost, songwriters, take care of your business.
Come on.
Handle
Say
your
it again. Say
business.
it again.
See, I don't necessarily have to take the stage in order to profit from the stage.
My God.
I handle my business. Like I said, my dad was my foundation for understanding the business. Secondly, as a songwriter, I don't mind other people taking my song and doing it however they want to do it. I tell people in a minute,
Sure. Sure.
I love hearing how other people interpret my music. There's about,
You would be amazed. I don't mean to cut you off, but you would be amazed at how many people write a song and give it to a particular artist and get upset because either they weren't there when they were recording it or it wasn't the exact way that
right.
they thought their song should go. Listen, when a writer gives you their song, you know what I'm saying? It's yours. Take it. Do what you got to do with it. Just make sure that the writer gets his publishing.
But you know what?
You don't have to be there.
But Marvin, and not but, um, different songwriters have different philosophies. Some of them,
Wow.
some of them believe that the greatest honor you can do to a songwriter is to sing the song and perform it exactly how they wrote it. And that's okay. That's your philosophy.
Yes, sir.
That's not necessarily my
Yes, sir.
philosophy. I like this that you thought enough of the song to sing it, boom, mission accomplished.
Boom.
That's what God gave
Mission
the song
accomplished.
through me so that you would be inspired enough to sing it. Now, how you delivered, and watch this. I've heard some people demolish my songs.
Oh, I've heard people demolish your music too. I just heard it. I heard somebody the other day, and I looked through. I heard the song. Look at here. When I listened to it, I looked just like this. I went from here to here to here.
Yeah,
I was like, what is happening?
yeah,
What is going on? That's exactly where my eyes went.
yeah.
It just went somewhere else. I heard your song toe down.
That song don't go like that. But if that's the best y'all can do, have at it. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you're doing it. Because also,
Yeah.
also what we don't get paid for in physical dividends, we
Yes.
get paid for in spiritual dividends. In
Amen.
Christ, there's no
Amen.
way we can lose. That should be our faith.
Amen.
Um, Let me tell you this, and I'll shut up if you want to ask me more questions. That's on you. I don't. But but
I got one more question.
but listen,
We'll wrap it
I
up.
wrote a song on my last project that I recorded with CGI Records, and I did some exciting music. I was more of my authentic self musically on that project, and
Okay.
uh, one of our Caucasian brothers covered the song. He recorded the song and was selling product, and he traveled the country, probably traveled the world, and and never reached out to me because he didn't have my contact information. Of course, there's ways he could have got it, but he didn't have it. Anyway, watch how God does.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
sitting in my office preparing for Sunday morning service, and one of
Yes.
my ushers come to me and tell me, Pastor Rhone, there's a white man at the door who want to see you. I'm like, let him in. Why are you just...
Why we always got to whisper when we say there's a white man?
Right, right,
We whisper.
right. I said, well, let him in. So he comes into my office. He stands at the front
Hmm.
of, he stands on the opposite side of my desk and he says, Pastor Calvin Bernard Rome, you don't know me, but I've been knowing you and knowing your music for years. I recorded one
Hmm.
of your songs, and this, he gave me a copy of it. Wonderful, wonderful recording. He gave me a copy of it, and then he said, I was looking over my paperwork and I realized I never paid you. And he said, so
Wow.
I am come to make things right. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a wad of cash, a roll of cash,
Wow.
several hundred dollars, and laid it on my desk. And he said, this belongs to you free and clear. And I just
That's
want to know that I
amazing.
did the right thing. So, you know what? People will misuse you. People
Sure.
will abuse you. People will take advantage of a system, and I'm talking about musical situations, will take advantage of a situations that allow them to. But when you are in tune with God,
Yes, sir. Come on here, sir.
when you're in tune with God, God sees what I don't see. God knows what I don't know. He hears what I don't hear. And He's got my
Yeah.
back. The key is just stay connected. Walk with God. Do what you're supposed to do. Keep your heart right. Keep your attitude right. And just know that God's got you. And so, I,
You just answered my last question, actually, because I was going to say there's somebody watching this, or there's somebody who, um, an artist, a musician, a songwriter, who says, Pastor Ron, I've been doing this forever. I've been doing this a long time. Nobody wants my song. Nobody's placing my song on their record. Nobody's asking me to do BGVs on their record. Nobody's asking me to be a guest lead on their record. Nobody's signing me. Why should I stay in this? You already, I mean, why should I stay in this? I'm discouraged. I don't want to do this no more. I feel like I'm wasting my time.
and
What, how can you convince me to stay in the service of the
I'm
Lord?
not going to try to convince you. I'm in a new space. I posted last night. I'm in a new space. So here's my question in response.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing what you're
Come
doing?
on.
That's my first
Come
question.
on.
Why are you
Mm-hmm.
doing
Come on,
what
sir.
you're doing?
Yes,
Secondly,
sir.
have you done all the right and best things in order to reach that goal?
Come on, sir.
Once you answer those questions, then we'll deal with the rest. But for me, motive is
Come
everything.
on. Say
Motive,
that one more time.
motive is everything.
Wow.
So, when you can honestly identify your motive and
Yes.
then watch this, identify your method and manner.
Wow.
Because those things are either advancing you or hindering you.
Okay. There you have it. I don't think there's anything else that really needs to be said on that because that was very squeaky clear. I want to thank you. What's next for you? What's next for you before we go?
Uh, oh wow, that's a good question. Well, I do plan to record again. I plan to keep
Good. Thank you. That's what I was
I
hoping you
plan
said.
to keep recording until I leave the earth or either I hear the spirit say no more. Um, I plan to intensify getting my music to other artists. I've been lazy
Okay.
about that reason, but and that's how I want to introduce myself to new artists, get them some material
Awesome.
because I'm still writing material, still writing wonderful material, and I believe I'm writing relevant material. I won't
Awesome.
always write songs like I used to write in the past because we're in a different dispensation. So
Sure,
that
absolutely.
I'm so excited about my pastoral ministry still. Um,
Absolutely. I
so
was going to get to that at our next
yeah,
meeting.
I'm, I'm, I'm just, I'm just always striving to walk the balance. So
Yes.
what's next for me is let me make a final statement of what's next for me. A repeat
Hmm.
of what my last night post was. This pandemic has afforded me the opportunity to look more
I
deeply
read that.
within myself.
Yes.
And I'm embracing, I'm embracing my whole self, my strengths, my
Yes.
weaknesses. And with all of that, many of the things, what I've discovered is that I will be a voice of understanding.
Yes,
I
sir.
enjoy these interviews. I enjoy talking. I'm trying to get
Yes, sir.
books out of me. I'm trying to
I'm
get
ready for that.
more songs out of me. I'm trying to get
Yes, sir.
sermons out of me. So,
Sure.
doing more of what I do and really reaching more people, reaching this present generation and possibly planting seeds for future generations. So that's
I
what's next
pray,
for me.
I pray, long life, much success, songs continue to come, ministry continue to increase. You've already reached thousands upon thousands, but there's thousands upon thousands left that you have to reach.
Absolutely.
I pray that you stay young because you are. You act so young. I pray that the nuggets continue to come, that the knowledge continue to come. Thank you for taking time. I want to acknowledge Alexander Northington. He told me to tell you hello. He's on here.
Awesome. Bless you.
And he said he started out with you.
Okay.
Uh, our brother John, Minister John Bernard's on
Oh
here. My
yeah.
cousin Michael Stewart. Uh, the beautiful Mikkel Ruffinelli. I think that she's just gorgeous. I
Absolutely.
love Mikkel.
Absolutely.
And again, all of my brothers, everybody. Ruben, thank you for sticking on. Thank you guys. Pastor Calvin Bernard Rowan, I appreciate you, man.
Likewise.
And I
Likewise.
thank God for you.
Bless you. Bless you.
I thank God
The
for you.
same
So
for you.
I'm going to bid you the good rest of your day, and I will be talking to you soon, man. Thank you.
Peace.
Talk to y'all
All
soon.
right.
Blessings, everybody. Peace.